Hi guys, welcome to my channel here at 136 Home. You know, we've been renovating the cabin for over 6 months now, and I realized that we've never actually taken the time to walk you through what our plans are for each of the rooms in the cabin. I'm here in the living room, and it is just such an inspiring space that I wanted to break it down and tell you all of the details about what we're doing here, as well as in the bathroom, the library, of course the bedroom, and we've got some little details like the stairs and a couple of knickknacks here in the kitchen. So stay tuned to watch them. So for the living room, we just couldn't get over how incredibly beautiful the original Sea Ranch style architecture was when we were first looking for a place. It was really challenging because we knew that we wanted to make sure that we had a cabin that wasn't out of the box, it wasn't too cookie cutter, and we fell in love with this area of Northern California's coasts because of its traditional 1970s, 1980s Sea Ranch style cottages. And here, particularly in this spot, they're not usually constructed. They're a couple miles north. And we found this particular space, and it has some of those amazing details that we want to make sure we maintain in this space. So first are these windows. You can't even see them. They're so tall in the frame. I can just imagine myself here, sitting here with a fire going in the winter with the rain coming down, or right now in the summer as we're knee deep and trying to restore these walls. This part of the house gets a lot of rain and it gets a lot of sun, and so there was some water damage that we had to repair, but it's all going to be worth it in the end. One of the best things about having a cabin is that sense of adventure. This home doesn't have any central air, or is it on gas. The only source of heat is this incredible wood-burning stove that we actually have to get firewood for. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this stove, we're gonna fully restore it, repair a little bit of the chimney flume, and we're going to retile this whole piece. So we're gonna bring this out just a little bit so that actually in the end, what you get is a little bit more of a square, and all of it is going to be retiled. I'm thinking that we want to tile it all the way to the ceiling for a really big, bold statement. And then at the end of the day, all of this is going to be brought up to code and restored to its original beauty. But you guys, nothing's better than having a roaring fire here. We did it a bunch last winter before we started the construction. It's just pure magic. And believe it or not, it heats the whole house. And I can't wait for you guys to see it. In the living room, it's actually kind of a small space, but I'm really excited about bringing in sort of that mid-mod, sort of academia style design to the space. And what you're gonna see here is that we've taped off for a rug. So if you could just imagine that in this space, we're gonna have a sectional. It's gonna go like this, with custom built bookcases that run the edge, just to kind of zone out the space so that you can walk through it still clearly to the kitchen, and you can still get in from this side and leave it open for a walkthrough. But we're actually going to zone this out a little bit more intentionally with a restored metal coffee table, a huge Japanese lantern that sort of brings everything together, and we're really going to play into the original home's architecture from the late 70s to the early 80s and really have this feel like a time capsule, but in the unique modern way. I just want to make sure that it feels special and cozy and different than what you'd expect from my home in San Francisco, but I'm really excited about this design. The other thing too is we're talking about hardwood floors. You can see that we've pulled up all of the original floors were this really dark vinyl that was absolutely competing with all of the original redwood. So we're gonna put hardwood floors back in all the way through. And they're really gonna be the understatement in the room. They're not gonna be the star of the show. What's gonna be the star are the accents and the rugs and these really great 1970s style sectionals that we're gonna put in here so that it feels really fantastic. This is the kitchen. As you can see, we removed all of the original cabinetry. It was fine, it was super functional, and it sort of broke my heart to actually remove it all. But I think for us, we wanted to make sure that we had our original stamp on it. So here's what we have planned. We're gonna have all of the cabinetry wrapped in an L shape here. That's how it was original. And I think the best part about it is that it's really the most functional way to be in the kitchen. So when I'm thinking about redesigning a kitchen, I always start with how do I want it to flow, because this is the part of the house that needs to work the most sort of systematically in terms of where you put the sink, where you have the dishwasher. And for the cabinets, we're going with either a dark green or a black with a really fantastic black soapstone or granite. It's gonna be really bold and modern, but at the same time, we are going to be softening, I think, all of those modern elements with restored original redwood. We're gonna have some redwood planking that goes up the wall, and it's just gonna come into a little bit more of that old and new that I love so much. It's gonna hopefully balance with the living room and the bedroom and really still pay homage to all of that mid-century modern elements that make a design feel so special, or at least something I'm super into right now. This is definitely not the best angle for me in a video, but I'm too excited to explain to you guys what we're doing here. So we're going to have our counters run the length of the kitchen and the range. They're going to wrap this beam, and you can't really see it in frame, but there's a step down here. And this is gonna be a bar. So we're gonna have 3 separate bar stools that allow you to sit here while I'm in here cooking up one of my amazing recipes for you when you guys come to visit, hopefully, fingers crossed. And then we're gonna have suspended from the ceiling wall-mounted brass shelving that comes down right to about forehead, maybe a little bit higher, right about here. And so all of this can be used for stacked plates, plants that can drip over. Anyway, so we're gonna do all of that here, and then it wraps here. I'll be at the sink, and we're gonna do a deep farmhouse sink. And I do think that we will also consider removing most of these cabinets, because here's the thing. We need lots of storage here, but also there are just too many cabinets. It's cluttering it up. So I think we're gonna plan to have lots of open shelving here that crosses over, where we can place more plates, but still open the window and have a really, really great experience in the kitchen. All of the dishwasher and the refrigerator and all of the electrical is staying in one location. That's just how we're saving money here. But I think it's gonna be really great, and it's really gonna play really well with the mid-mod academia style. We really put our own stamp on it. Okay, so this space looks a little funky right now. This is actually our original dishwasher, which was in fabulous condition, which we're trying to keep safe and sound during the renovations. But we really want to maximize this space. It was kind of a dead zone that goes between the kitchen and then ultimately into the bathroom. Where you guys are at right now, we're gonna have a really nice, long, oversized kitchen table with a bench on one side and chairs on the other. I'll show you that in a minute. But what we're gonna be doing here is we're going to have a coffee station. So we're gonna have a built-in cabinet that's going to match the same material and color that we're doing in the kitchen. And then we're gonna have some upper cabinetry that opens on a handle, and we're gonna tuck the microwave in there. And then we're going to have a space that allows us to really, really have a fantastic, amazing espresso coffee station. If you guys know me, you know me well. You've been around for a while. Iced coffee. I have 2-3 cups a day. It's kind of my favorite thing in the whole world. So we want to have a really pretty space to use, just really to be able to like start our day with our original espresso machine and just really have that part of the magic of being at the cabin. I really think that we're going to enjoy this, and I always encourage you guys at home to find little places in your home where you can set up magic moments like that. So we're gonna have a coffee station here. I hope that it turns out great, fingers crossed. So this is where we're going to have a formal dining space. I would love to have a nice long farm table here, and we're going to place a vintage bench that goes against this wall. And I have big aspirations to do some open shelving here with tons of oddities and ends We have so much wall space on this side of the cabin that it just is screaming for some visual interest. So I'm planning to stack all of the sort of odds and ends. I'm going to do vintage items, brass candlesticks, fun sculptures, lots of plants. You're bringing an open shelving here, but you'll also be able to sit comfortably in a bench. And the other side, I'm going to have 3 mismatched chairs. And of course, we've got to do a pendant light here. And again, I'm really excited to have enough space to have a formal dining room in San Francisco. Our banquette is beautiful. I know you guys love it, but it's a little small to host lots of folks. And of course, we want to have big dinner parties and barbecues here. So this is what we have planned in this space. And if you were tracking me, the coffee station is just over here to the left. So I can grab my coffee and sit here and read all of my favorite blogs in the morning and scroll on Instagram. So here I am in the bathroom of the cabin, and believe it or not, this is the room that we are starting first. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like obviously the kitchen and the living room and the bedroom are very, very important. But for me, especially a getaway sort of second home, the bathroom needs to be ready to go so that we can shower and get ready and feel clean after a long day of working and doing sort of DIY or construction or yard work. But we have huge plans here in the bathroom. As you can see, we've already started on the demo work. While we love the original tile, ultimately we decided that it was just not safe for us to continue using it long term because most of it was cracked and water was seeping through it through the grout. So unfortunately, we had to get rid of it. And so what we've done is we've teamed up with Fireclay Tile, who arguably makes the best tile. It's all handmade, it's really high quality, and we're actually retiling this whole interior of the shower with the 2x2 Evergreen tile, which is this incredibly delicious, inky, dark green tile with a really high sheen. But what's funny is from certain angles it looks almost black. And so it's gonna really do wonders to create a nice moody space here in the bathroom where we get a ton of natural light. It was important that we keep this stunning picture window. And then for the actual bathroom itself in terms of vanity, we're going to be doing a wall mounted floating vanity, and we teamed up with Industry West to create a really cool modern look with a vanity, a marble top, and raised sinks with matte black finishes. In addition to that, we went really bold with some amazing sconces. They're turmeric in color. They look almost like mushrooms, which we thought was a wonderful ode to the cabin. Every winter here, late winter rather, it's mushroom season and we go foraging and we get mushrooms that we make in my miso soup recipe. And we just really love the process of foraging and drying mushrooms and really just like going through that whole magical process. Again, the cabin for us is all about adventures like that. So we're gonna be placing 2 of those above those vanities for some really great wow factor. Every room that I make, I like to have something that keeps you talking. We think those are them. And then we'll paint the room. We are debating it right now, and I actually would love your guys' thoughts on it. We're thinking about going Chantilly lace white, which is my favorite white, or going a really deep green to keep everything in sort of that color drench. And then of course we're installing a vent because there was no vent in here and we need ventilation in a bathroom. I'm really excited about this bathroom. I think it's really gonna be an amazing mix of everything else that's going on here, and just be a really special place to soak in the tub, bring in the green from outside. I mean, I can stare at the redwood trees right now from here and just really be a magical space. So very excited for you guys to see the final design of the bathroom. I'm almost wasn't sure that this room was going to be ready for us to shoot today. But at 136 Home, I show it to you guys like it is. I ultimately realized that this room is too special to not include it in the overall plans. It's gonna be like a zone 3, phase 3 project, but this is the second bedroom in the cabin, and it's affectionately being called the library. And so this will be where we'll have a guest room that will follow the same style as the primary in that mid-mod academia style. But as you can see, we already have the foundations for our library, which I'm just so excited about. We are going to refinish out the original cabinetry work in here and just reface some of it, put on some mullions and moldings. But we're also going to then install a library ladder that's mounted through the ceiling, and then fill this with all of my favorite books, knickknacks and oddities. But this is so exciting. We're gonna have a bed here that's gonna be against this wall, and then we are planning to build in a floating desk so that I can still do my blog work and additional stuff that I do online. And we're going to sand and refinish all of the hardwood flooring and make this a really standout space. But I'm sort of obsessed with the fact that we can have the library as sort of the main focal point, and it's just going to be a total wow factor. I can't wait for you guys to see this space when it's finished. And frankly, when it's all cleared out, I feel like every project I do has a room that just collects everything. This one's it for now, so stay tuned. I just love this loft bedroom. If the cathedral windows weren't enough, the original Sea Ranch architecture, or the fact that this has a full acre with rose gardens, butterfly gardens, all of the above, this bedroom sold me. I mean, the best part about what our plans are in here is it's not much. Like all of my favorite renovations, I think this space really just needs to be restored. Also, the hardwood floors are in amazing shape. They just need a little bit of a sand to remove sort of that shine, and then we're going to smooth out a part of the flooring right about here where there's a slight bump. So I just don't want there to be a tripping hazard, but we really want to respect the original hardwood floors. I wish that the whole house had these hardwood floors, but alas, they did not. I am happy, however, that we have them here and we can get going on this space right away. I fell in love with this original 1970s, 1980s floating shelf. I think that they are gorgeous and they don't need a ton of work. It's original craftsmanship, so we're going to take that off the wall. We're going to restore it, sand, seal it. It's in great condition. It just needs a little bit of elbow grease. The ceilings also have that amazing traditional Sea Ranch style, really sharp slope to one side. So we're going to sand and seal those along with all of the wood up here. We're going to remove all of these original shutters and track lighting, which just obviously is not the vibe. We're going to fill in this open window that looks down onto the living room with stained glass. We're going to do a custom stained glass window that can be opened and closed as needed. We've got to keep a fan. It's super hot here and there's not a lot of ventilation in the house, but you're probably mostly interested in what is the design going to be here, because we don't got to do much. We are going to place a giant 9x12 rug here, a king bed here with two nightstands and sconces on either side. And then at the end of the day, we're also going to make sure that when you're sitting here, we're going to replace these French doors. And by replace them, I should say we're actually planning to refinish them. I could get new doors. It's probably more affordable actually to get new doors, but I would much prefer to sand, seal, weather seal, and replace the hardware on these. They open up to a patio that is just lovely. It works over what will soon be the hot tub, the hillside, and all of the amazing redwood trees. I just love this room. Like when I'm standing here, I can see all of the redwood trees, the hillside, and then I love my polygon window that looks out onto the apple trees out back. It's just fantastic. And of course, I'm never gonna keep these closet doors. They're in good shape, but I want something a little bit more finished that's gonna be sort of put up against here. We're gonna do a piece of decorative molding here, sand and seal those back to the original format that they were in as well. And then we will paint everything white or color drench it. We are still deciding. For us, really just gonna come down to the decorations and sort of how we decide to do the decor inside with the furnishings. But it's gonna be great. I can't wait to style this space. And as soon as we get this done and the bathroom is finished, I feel like we can stay overnight for extended periods of time to get lots of work done. I can't wait for you guys to see this. We're tackling this room next. So I feel like a cabin walkthrough of what we're doing would be incomplete without talking a little bit about the exterior. I mean, it obviously doesn't need much. I'm obsessed with the original patina. Of course, the landscape in and of itself sort of speaks for itself. I mean, look at this ancient redwood tree and this incredible Graverstein apple tree that literally wraps the entire front of the house. I'm just obsessed. But we currently have two plans, which I'd love your guys' thoughts on. The first is that for the exterior, we are planning to power wash it all, just get rid of some of that black, mossy color that's kind of collected over the years and try to bring back some of the original wood finish while keeping the patina, because I do love that old sort of live-in rustic look. The other option we're thinking for the exterior of the house is to do a semi-opaque stain, and we would go bold, and basically what that would look like is a dark black. So lots of options here for the exterior, but that's what we're thinking. But for now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick a couple of these apples because it is nearly time to start apple recipes at the cabin. And I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I loved making it. If you guys have any thoughts on the cabin, leave them below and let me know what you think. And please, share it with everyone. And you guys, this is my dream. A like and a subscribe mean everything to me. If you want to follow along and see what we do next, hit that like and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.